pull through.
All right, Natasha's given me the thumbs up, so this will be Curry County's Board of Commissioners special meeting, June 27th. It's 5:30. We'll begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What's so funny?
All right, next up is amendment and approval of the agenda.
I don't have any amendments to the agenda.
I just want to also interject that Commissioner Herzog will not be attending. He is ill.
All right,
I cast him out of the building.
He's not feeling well.
Yeah, he not well at all.
so I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes?
And yes, motion passes 2-0. General public comments? No one is here. Exceptionally.
I'm here.
And Matt's here. No members of the public are here, so we will move directly into discussion action items.
Is your microphone on?
Probably not.
There we go. Ted, it's pretty much your show from here on out.
All right, we are looking to adopt the resolution categorizing and imposing property taxes in Curry County for fiscal year 24-25. I'm not going to read the entire resolution. I will just read the key part. Curry County Board of Commissioners hereby imposes the real property tax rate provided for in the adopted budget of the 24-25 fiscal year at the rate of .5996 per $1,000 of assessed value.
I'll move to adopt the resolution categorizing and imposing property taxes for the 2024-2025 fiscal year.
And I'll second. Any further discussion? Then, all in favor?
Yes?
And yes, motion passes 2-0.
The next one is, you want me to go through these, Ted, or you want to go through them?
I'll do
Go
the
ahead.
next one. I mean, the next one is the resolution to adopt the budget, or adopt and make appropriations and imposing taxes. Sorry, this is the wrong thing, sorry.
Yeah, you got it for the Curry County 4-H?
No, it's actually, well, yeah, okay, you're right. You're right, we got to do that, all right. Okay, adopting 4-H and extension service budget for fiscal year 24-25. Resolution to adopt the budget for the 4-H service, extension service for fiscal year 24-25. And that is, let's see here, .1021 per $1,000 of assessed value.
I'll move to adopt resolution adopting, making appropriations and imposing taxes for the Curry County 4-H and Extension Service District for the 2024-2025 fiscal year.
And I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Yes?
And yes, motion passes 2-0. Next up is number C.
Approve resolution adopting and appropriating the Curry County 24-25 fiscal year budget. And that is the Curry County Board of Commissioners hereby adopts the budget for the 24-25 fiscal year in the amount of $64,907,520. Said budget being available for review in the Curry County Clerk's office. The amount of $64,907,520 for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024, as set forth in the budget document Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, is hereby appropriated for the purposes set forth therein. The amount of $866,532 is unappropriated and reserved for future budget years in the 24-25 fiscal year budget. And so I'd be looking for a motion to approve that resolution adopting and appropriating the 24-25 fiscal year budget.
I'll move to approve the adoption of the resolution adopting and appropriating the 2024-2025 Curry County budget.
And I will second it. Tough budget, but I'll second it. All in favor?
You got anything you want any discussion?
I mean, man, we've discussed this so much. I mean, we're laying off 17.5 people, cutting 5 positions. Still in the process of all of the union-related movement and bumping that's going on. So still a lot. The dust is far from settled for sure, but it's just a very unfortunate set of circumstances that don't leave too many alternatives. That's all I have.
I've got the budget message that by Keena Wolf. If you'd like me to read that into the record, I can do that. This is written by Keena Wolf, our finance director. I'm submitting for your consideration the fiscal year 25 annual budget for Curry County. The budget includes all revenues and expenditures for county departments for July 24 through July 25. The budget includes a total combined budget of $64,907,502, which is $2,257,903 less than the adopted fiscal year 24 budget. This decrease in the overall budget is due to the use of one-time money in the fiscal year 24 budget. County revenues remain essentially unchanged from the previous year, while expenses have increased significantly in personnel services and materials and services, prompting the county to reorganize departments and a layoff of county employees, reducing the overall budget full-time equivalent positions by 25.51 from the budgeted FTE in fiscal year 24 budget. This layoff process will be effective July 2024. The budget is balanced by using property tax receipts, federal and state grants, fees from operations, and $1.180 million in interest revenue from the road fund reserves. Although the budget is balanced, it reflects a $1.180 million budget gap. Department heads are proud of the services they provide to the public and have worked hard to reduce their overall budget requirements. This, along with the reduction of positions, will pose a difficult task for the year ahead. Even with potential further reductions in the second half of fiscal year 25, the budget shortfall will continue to grow unless an alternate revenue source is created. Therefore, this year's focus should be on bringing in new revenue sources that will help offset the increasing costs of personnel and services. I want to thank all department heads for their hard work and the difficult decisions that needed to be made during this budget process. I also wanted to thank the budget committee members for their service, hard work, and commitment to helping provide the county with a balanced budget.
I'd also in addition to this, what's not reflected, because when it talks about our combined budget, the combined budget also includes our road fund reserve. So it's not an operational budget. It's what the current budget the county has, essentially, right?
Yep.
And so what it doesn't account for is the reduction in road fund usage for operations in this budget. So the actual total reduction for road fund the total reduction in operating services is actually $4.1 million. So it's $2,257,000 in general fund obligations that are reduced due to the one-time money, but we also ended up reducing the usage of road funds to the tune of $2.1 million for a total of $4.1 million in total reduction of budget allocated resources, if you will. So just to make that clear, so people understand that even though the budget looks like it's reduced by $2,257,000, the actual operational budget's reduced by 4.1.
Right. And road fund reserve money still had to be used,
At the tune of 1.18,
Right.
yes.
which I think people lose sight of too, because you hear that we've made these cuts and reductions, but you don't realize that we still had to use that money. you know?
No, if we were looking at actual being completely balanced, we would be reducing it by 4.1 plus the 1.18, so 5.3.
Which I guess is what makes this such a difficult process, because this is and has been very concerning, but what I see is what lies ahead, you know,
Correct.
next year. That's the real that's where the real challenge is, with no additional revenue coming in. And I guess that's where the real concern lies.
Yeah, so. Wouldn't you have any more?
It's what we have, though.
discussion?
It's what we have.
Yeah.
You know, we have to, we made an agreement that we would propose a funding solution. We did. And we also agreed during that time that we would live within our means.
Which we're currently not fully doing, but I think doing as most fiscally responsible as we can.
Correct.
A big step in the right
Correct.
direction.
So, if there's no further discussion, I'll move to vote.
Yep. I have a motion and a second, so all in favor?
Yes?
And yes, motion passes 2-0. Next up is D, Ted, eliminating positions.
All right, we're looking for an order approving eliminating positions subject to the fiscal year 24-25 budget. The positions eliminated are Code Compliance Officer, Board of Commissioners Administrative Assistant, a planner, another planner, Deputy Clerk 1, Captain in the Sheriff's Office, Detective in the Sheriff's Office, Detective in the Sheriff's Office, Sergeant 2, K-9 in the Sheriff's Office, Road Deputy 3, Road Deputy 2, Road Deputy 2, another Road Deputy 1, 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 Deputy Treasurer, Building Maintenance, open position, and the Emergency Management Director, open position.
I'll move to approve the order eliminating positions subject to the fiscal year 2024, 2025 budget.
And I will second it. All in favor?
Well, I just want to quickly just say that these are good people. You know, these are good people, families. And so it's not something that falls lightly on anybody here, that this is one of the effects of a reduction in budget. So,
Yep. The hardest part about sitting here and doing this. All right, motion and a second.
I will vote yes.
And yes, motion passes 2-0. Next up is E, Ted.
Rescinding order number 23382, reclassifying building official. Due to the adoption of the budget for fiscal year 24-25, certain positions were defunded and therefore were eliminated. One of these positions being the code compliance officer that was under the direction of building official Garrett Thompson. At the time, Thompson received a bump in pay for taking over the supervisory role of the code compliance officer. This order would revert his classification back to grad U, step 6.
I will approve, I'll move to approve the order rescinding order number 23382.
And I'll second.
So,
More discussion?
well, so this, just so we're clear for everyone who understands, so this is removing our code compliance position.
Correct.
Okay.
And the supervisory role that Garrett was performing for that. But
Yeah.
Since that position was eliminated as part of the budget reduction, then we're just rolling him back to his original position.
Okay. No further discussion.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
And yes, motion passes 2-0.
Okay, next one is update fee schedule, planning department. Due to the current financial status of the general fund, the department heads and elected officials were asked to review their current fees, modify and return for board approval. Attached, you will find the fee schedule with the modifications in red. On June 10th and June 20th, the majority of the department's fees had been increased. Attached to the new increases for the planning department. So this is just one of the follow-up ones.
I'll move to approve the updated county fee schedule effective July 1, 2024.
So the only thing that I have to, where would you do the clerk's fees?
They weren't included in the packet, but we can,
Could we add them to this now?
Sure.
You've got those?
so I believe it was the last meeting that they were approved. And we noticed that on the recording fees, that the surveyor fee that was approved, I don't know when it was approved.
Some months ago, I think,
Sometime,
yeah.
yeah, last year. And then the clerk archive and restoration fee that was increased did not include that in the recording fees. And so the sheet that was attached to the order from the last meeting was incorrect.
So perhaps we could just modify the motion to approve these fees and correct the clerk's fees to reflect those changes that for the already.
Well, and the recording fees are set by statute. It was just the only,
Just to change those particular things.
Well, what I can do is I can rescind my original motion and start with a fresh one.
Okay,
So I will rescind my motion for approval. And I will move to approve the updated county fee schedule effective July 1, 2024, to include fees discussed herein by the clerk.
So there was no second on the first motion, but I will second this motion. Any further discussion on that?
Thanks for the clarification. Appreciate it. No.
Then all in favor?
Yes.
And yes, motion passes 2-0.
all right, next is reorganization of the clerk's office. County Clerk Shelley Denny has submitted an order to reorganize her current staff due to the current financial cuts being made based on the resources available to her. She's determined that a more efficient arrangement requires her to basically reorganize her office as detailed in the order. It says previous following reorganization of personnel shall occur with changes becoming effective July 1, 2024. Previous, we had Shelley Denny, County Clerk, Marcy Bros, Deputy Clerk 1. We had a Deputy Clerk 1 position, another one, and one Deputy Clerk 2 position, and then there was an eliminated position. The new organization shall be County Clerk Shelley Denny. There will be, a Deputy Marcy Bros and Lindsay Harris, both serving as Deputy Clerks, and then the Deputy Clerk 2 position will be an eliminated position, and then there is a vacant position that's been created entitled Supervisor of Elections, and so that will be an open position. You want to speak on that?
So the supervisor of election isn't a new position. That is a position that hasn't been filled since I vacated the position about 10 years ago. So I'm just, for the benefit of the citizens and my office, I feel like this is a better position to have than the deputy clerk too.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve the order reorganizing the Curry County Clerk, Recording and Elections Department.
And I'll second it. Any further discussion?
I'd just like to say, I know it's hard to look at, the department and reorganizing and trying to figure out what's going to be best for the department itself, but appreciate that you took the time to do that.
Nothing further? All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
And yes, motion passes 2-0.
The next one is planning services contract. This is just renewing the the professional services contract that we have with well, let's see, we call it Pacific Geographic Consultants LLC. They're the consultant. They work and do off-site planning work for us, and so far it's been working. It's been working well. We're still in the exploratory phase of determining how best to meet the demand in the most cost-effective manner. But right now, I would like to extend this contract. It was a 6-month contract. I'd like to extend it another 6 months.
I'll move to approve the renewal of the professional services contract for planning services.
And I'll second it.
Quick-
Discuss.
yeah.
Discussion?
Quick discussion. Ted, so this is one of the questions I get probably second most asked. So can you just give a rundown of with the whole reorg, what the planning department staffing would look like?
Well, we're still in a state of flux on that, but right now we have a half-time position available that's going to be going into starting in the next year, where we're going to have a person doing intake, and then the intake projects will be distributed to our planners and to Scott Fine, our surveyor, who's also working at part-time in the planning field. We're going to be working through that, seeing if we can make this, if we can create some more efficiencies than what we're resulting. As you're aware, the planning department ended up pretty much upside down, very much so, based on how they were performing. So we had to,
Is it inaccurate projected revenues?
projected revenues far
Exceeded the
outseeded reality. Yeah.
actual revenues?
Yeah, and so what we're really doing is looking to basically what we're trying to do here is we're trying to dial this department into, it's a fee-based system, right? So if you have something that you want to get done at the planning department, there's a fee for it. So we want to keep our costs down within those fees and make the place pay for itself based on the work that's done. So that's why we're trying to work with some outside consultants who have expertise and can meet this stuff efficiently. And we're going to know more as we go forward, but we're watching the bottom line pretty carefully on in that department so that we can bring it back.
So people who are looking for planning approvals, the system would be essentially the same, it's just more streamlined.
Right, just more streamlined. And we're also, there's an existing backlog from the previous arrangement, and we're going to have to figure out how to address that. We're working on that as well. But we've got buy-in from all of our people, all of our planners and so forth that are going to commit to addressing those.
Okay. No further discussion there.
All right, then we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
And yes, motion passes 2-0. No executive session, and there is no commissioner comments on here. I didn't have any today anyway. This has been just a difficult process to work through for sure. So hopefully we can turn this corner and come up with some creative ideas. Anything else, Jay?
No, I think, you know, obviously this was, as it's been said many times, but, you know, I something was said that was fairly wise that I'm going to steal, but it was either we grow together or we go together. And, you know, I think this is an opportunity where we are going to have to find, we're going to have to find our efficiencies. We're going to have to find out how, you know, really level up our level of efficiency. Try not to get stuck into the mentality of it's the way it's always been done. We need to look at new solutions, new opportunities for solutions, and again, more efficient solutions. And I think, you know, we're going to find out exactly what that looks like very quickly. And I think in some respects, I think we'll be surprised. In others, I think we won't be. But nonetheless, this is what we have.
Well, I agree with everything you said. This is ultimately resetting.
Yeah.
Resetting from the ground up. And we have a meeting on Wednesday, first meeting after this budget on Wednesday. So the work continues for sure.
That's when we're gonna start seeing how what the plan is for the various departments and see how this stuff is being implemented. Because the department heads all have their, you know, Shelley's demonstrated that she's taken, you know, the reality that she's dealt and she's taking steps. That's probably gonna happen in some other departments as we go forward.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a year where we have to be nimble, and we have to be able to adjust on the fly, and then also do a really good job of communicating what is getting done to the community, and potentially what might not be.
Right.
You know, so that everybody has a solid understanding of what this truly entails.
Yep. And the plan is to put a press release out once all of the movement is done and over, and that will further explain to the public what they will see in terms of reduction in services, where those reductions will most likely be felt. And then once that is complete, we will look at what our options are moving forward. And then the public should also expect to see some department heads coming in to our meetings and providing some statistical information, metrics of where we're at and how we're doing. So I look forward to that, and I think that will be helpful in the long run. So if there's, go
One
ahead.
thing that I would just ask is for the public to be patient with us during this transition, provide a little bit of grace as we learn to figure this out as well, because things may not be as quick or as fast as they have been in the past, and you know, we need to allow some grace for some individuals to understand it's going to be kind of what our reality is. So.
All right, then we will adjourn this meeting at 5:59. Thank you.